Hey there, my sweet little magnolias. How are y'all doing? We are back with another lesson out of my newest book, The 12 Gates of Healing. You can get this on Amazon in this beautiful, large workbook size paperback. It's an 8.5 by 11 for $14.88, and you can also get it on Kindle. As I always say, if you cannot afford to get this book and you need to take a healing journey so that you can be your best self and finally heal, send me an email. My email address is right there. And give me your name and address, and I will send you a free paperback copy. We don't want anything to be in the way of your healing. So if you can't afford it, just let me know. Also, if you have any questions, those of you who are going through these lessons with me, any comments, any suggestions, anything you need clarification on, email me. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, yesterday we finished up with Gate 4, which was the examination gate. And today we are going to start on Gate 5, which is the record gate. Now, I know a lot of these exercises and keys seem somewhat repetitive, but we are, remember, laying a foundation for your healing. So we have to make sure we tick all the boxes, cross all the T's, jot all the I's. Because if we don't and we miss something, that's going to really throw a monkey wrench into your healing. So we want to make sure that we get it all. So the first key in this chapter, Gate 5, the record gate, is you can't heal what you are unaware of. So making a record of your abuse might seem a bit strange, and it might seem counterintuitive at first. But once you realize the importance of having this account of all the ways in which you were abused and how that has affected you, you can better understand what your healing journey will entail. It's like packing for a vacation. You can't pack if you don't know what the weather is, what the activities planned are, etc. It's also almost like a roadmap that will help guide you on your quest for wholeness and for healing. And often, for those of us who've experienced especially childhood trauma, oftentimes the human brain will hide the trauma from us just to protect us. But the problem with that is, even though our minds don't consciously remember, it's there in our subconscious. Our body remembers, our emotions remember. And, it responds accordingly. It responds to the triggers, and you don't even know why. You're like, why is this so aggravating to me? I don't get it. It's because the thing that caused the trigger in the first place, you don't recall. So what we're going to do in this chapter is try to make ourselves recall, remember, understand why we do what we do. So tapping into these hidden memories will free you to address them properly, deal with the trauma, heal it, and then move on. Okay? It might be difficult at first. In fact, there's no might about it. It's going to be difficult. But try asking the universe to help you through it, to show you areas of abuse that need healing. Before I walked through this gate, I didn't have a clear understanding of how the universe communicates with us. But now I get it. It's that little voice in your head that you think is you talking to yourself. Now that I fully comprehend the concept of spirit guides and what they sound like in my head, this is much easier. So the more time you spend trying to hear from your spirit team, the easier this will get. So there is brief teaching at the back of the book that helps you understand all the spiritual concepts we talk about. And the way that you get in touch with your spirit guides is through meditation. And listening for them, listening for that voice in your brain and recognizing it for what it is. And the more you get used to this, the easier it will be for you to hear. Okay, probably the most important piece about communicating with your spirit team is to not discount what you hear. So one of the first things I did when learning how to do this was I started writing down what I was hearing and following what I was hearing and just kind of trying to test it to see if it was really my spirit team or just my brain fucking with me. And I cannot tell you how enlightening it was, how joy-producing it was to realize I'm not in this alone. That voice that says, hey, stop. That voice that says, you don't need to go here. That voice that says, this is a good person, you can trust them. Or, this is a sketchy person, you need to leave and not have anything to do with them. That's your gut instinct, but that's your spirit team. That's your intuition, your third eye, opening up and giving you understanding and revelation into things you maybe didn't understand before. It's incredible. I now have the ability to properly understand the motivations of people I meet simply because I am in touch with my spirit team and they have what I don't have, which is the bird's eye or drone's eye view of everything. So they know more than I know. They see more than I see, and they understand more than I understand on my own. Having that is like having a private investigator or a secret, I don't know what, a secret helper in your pocket that or between your ears that talks to you and says, hey, psst, by the way, this is what's going on. Yeah. And I was hearing my spirit team for years before I recognized it. I knew every time my ex-husband cheated on me. I just knew it. I knew it. I couldn't prove it half the time, but I knew it. Yeah. So it will save you a lot of heartache, heartbreak. It'll save your life sometimes. You need to stop. Don't go down this road. You never know what they're saving you from. So practicing, getting in touch with, listening to, understanding your spirit team is really important and very helpful, especially with an exercise like this. And we're going to do the exercise right now. So if you want to take notes, make sure you pause the video and go get a notebook and a pen. And I'll see you back here in a second. Okay, let's get into the first exercise for Gate 5. And it's called Identifying Your Wounds. Now, this is going to be a difficult one, so I really recommend the box of Kleenex. And it's a vital part of this very long journey, and it's probably one of the most important ones. So take your time with it. And, you know, don't be too hard on yourself if you can't remember. It's very common for us not to be able to remember our trauma. Like I said earlier, the brain hides it from us. So you're going to have to ask your spirit team for some help with that, okay? Okay, so you want to get a notebook and a pen or a journal and a pen. And like I said, a box of Kleenex. Yeah. And you need a quiet space, obviously. You don't want to be disturbed when you're doing this, and be prepared to take some time. And you might have to take this in chunks. Do it more than one time. Most of the exercises really need more than once through them. Connect with your spirit team and ground yourself. Then take 3 deep cleansing breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And if you're having a little bit of extra anxiety about this particular exercise because of the nature of it, take as many breaths as you need, cleansing, deep breaths, to make yourself feel less anxious. And then I want you to start at the beginning. Ask your spirit team to show you areas that need healing. And then whatever pops into your mind first, don't throw it out. Don't dismiss it. Write it down and keep writing. Just let it flow organically. And I think when I did this is before I had actually recalled all of the sexual abuse. So I'm thinking, if I remember correctly, the first thing that popped into my brain was my mother's way of giving me laxatives and forced enemas from the time I was just an infant. Now, I didn't remember the infancy piece, obviously, but I did remember being very, very little when I had my first forced enema. Yeah, I remember screaming and crying. God, it was so traumatizing. So traumatizing. And then, if I let my bowels loose before I was on the toilet, then getting yelled at for making a mess. Yeah, there's still some feelings around that because I deal daily with IBS, and my gastroenterologist thinks that my mother's weirdness with my bowels is the cause of that, or at least contributed to it greatly. And so I still have some feelings around that. Obviously, you can see how it's affecting me. But I feel like that was the first thing that came. And so when I sat with it, after I wrote it down and I sat with it, it just all came flooding back. All the ways that she was with me about my food intake, my excrement, measuring it, just weird. I had to show it to her in the toilet. Just sick obsession with it. And it was all about my weight. That is all it was about. So let this flow organically. Whatever first pops into your mind, just sit with it and write down everything you can remember about it. Okay? And then once you've dealt with the memory of that, remember, you're not trying to heal any of this stuff. You're just trying to remember it and write it down and make a record of it. Then ask the universe, okay, what next? That was a pretty awful one. What next? And what next? And what next? And keep going. Don't try to do it in one sitting. You're going to have to come back to this exercise multiple times. It may take a while. It may take days. It may take weeks or more. But it is one of the most important pieces to your healing process, because you need to identify. You can't heal what you're unaware of. You need to identify these things. I remember, this is kind of TMI, but y'all need to understand how these things work. I was in the process of doing this healing journey, and I had been asking my spirit team to show me things. And It doesn't always happen when you're sitting with a pen and paper and ready to write it down. Sometimes it just comes out of the blue. Sometimes it would hit me in the shower. And I'd go, oh my God, that happened. Something always triggered it. And in this particular one that I'm about to tell you about, it was the act of intercourse with my husband. That's when all what my father had done to me came flooding in. It was the most inappropriate time, I will tell you that. It took me off guard, by surprise. I started screaming. I remember because it traumatized my ex-husband too. I pushed him off of me. I said, don't touch me, get away from me. And I started having a panic attack, and I was in therapy, thank the goddess. And so he immediately called my therapist, put me on the phone with her, and we talked about it. I think I was 27. So my brain had been hiding all of that trauma from me since the trauma stopped, or the abuse stopped, around the age of 11 when I started my period. So probably suppressed everything from the time I was 12 or 13, which is, I started drinking at 11 or 12, and didn't remember it until I was 27. Yeah. Like I said, this is a really hard exercise. This is a difficult gate. And it's hard for me to talk about it, even still, after I've done so much healing, because I can remember vividly what it felt like to remember vividly the abuse. Mm-hmm. So the memories may not come back at a very convenient time. Be prepared for that. I didn't talk about that in the book at all. Maybe I should have. But I'm telling you now, prepare yourself. And you don't want to skip or do this half-ass. You need to do this exercise all the way through until you are sure. The universe tells you, okay, that's it for now. Because how do you eat an elephant? One forkful at a time. How do you heal? One bite at a time, one little bit at a time, one forkful, if you will, at a time. So some of the things may be too harsh for you to deal with at this moment, and they will be kept hidden from you until you're ready. So that's a lot of that happened to me too. Like, I didn't remember about some of the bullying that happened until much later, after I dealt with the bigger issues, right? But they were still there. They still needed to be dealt with. So, yeah. It's not easy, y'all, but it is so important. Okay? It is super, super important. So don't give up. Keep doing it. Yeah. It's hard. So, like I said, you may have to do this exercise a couple of times, or 30 times. I had to do it a lot. I still do it sometimes. I asked my spirit team, is there anything left that I need to work on? They always show me something. It's always something. Anyway, do it. It's painful. Cry. If you're angry, scream, rage. Yell into the void. Don't take it out on anybody else, especially not yourself. And just feel what you're feeling. Feel it all. If you're grieving because of your lost childhood, feel that too. Whatever emotion pops up during this, fully lean into it and feel it. And write about it. Journal about it. It's important that you do this. It's essential to your healing journey. It definitely is. And it's a process, this healing thing. It's like an onion. You peel one layer and you cry because cutting onions make you cry. Healing makes you cry. And you get through chopping up a little, and then you have to go through another layer and you chop that up and you cry. And but you know what about onions? The thing I like about this analogy is they season and flavor our food. And tears and healing seasons and flavors our deliciously good life that is waiting for us. Yeah. Yeah. So feel them. Cry. Allow the tears to flow. Feel it. No matter what your feelings are. And if it's something like shame, say, you know what? I'm feeling shame, but it's not my shame. Recognize that it's not your shame. You're feeling the shame of your abuser. Yeah, you don't have to feel shame. You can reject that. Guilt, reject that. Anything that is not about you, reject it. But anything that is about you, the grief, the rage, the tears, the deep, deep sorrow, feel that. Feel it and write about it. It's so empowering to write about it. It really, really, really is. There's a lot of things that writing can help us accomplish, and healing is one of them. As always with every exercise, but especially with this one, clear your energy when you've stopped. When you've had enough for one session, stop wherever you are. Breathe, because you're going to need to breathe a lot. And burn some sage, Palo Santo, incense, use a selenite wand, and just clear your emotional energy. Yeah, clear your space. Because you don't want to go to bed feeling all of these things, and you don't want to go interact with other people feeling all of these things. So just put it to rest, put it to bed for a little bit. You're probably pretty good at doing that. Yeah. Put the mask back on. I got really good at that. Yeah. But come back when you're ready for another session. It's so important, y'all. I cannot stress enough. And I really want you guys to heal. I don't know you, but I love you. I wouldn't recognize you in a crowd, but I care about you. So do it. It's for you. It's not for anybody else. Well, for those who love you. For those you love, it's for them too. Especially your kids, if you have any. Or if you plan on having any. Yeah. Make a concerted effort, and you will be glad that you did. Okay, I know this was a really heavy one, y'all. Tomorrow we'll get into the second key, which is processing these emotions. Once you've identified what happened to you and felt the things you feel about it, we're going to process those emotions. And that's going to also involve journaling. So you've already kind of started on that second key and second exercise. Yeah. This was kind of heavy, y'all. So do some self-care and love yourself. You're strong and you can do this. And I'm here with you. All right. I'll see you next time. Love you.